Welcome to Unscripted Gaming. Thank you, Felix. We're not redoing this. My name is Ray. I'm joined by two co-hosts, Josh and
What
Mike.
up?
Please go ahead and say hello, gentlemen.
What's up, yo?
Hello, this is Mike.
Uh, so we're still under quarantine,
We are
but
social
the
distance, shelter in place.
yes. I don't mean to get too in deep into this, but I do want to be prudent and acknowledge for the sake of posterity. A couple days ago, our President of the United States made, in no uncertain terms,
Crown
suggestions
Prince of COVID.
that we possibly inject disinfectant into our bodies to combat the coronavirus.
No. Ray.
Okay.
Ray.
All right.
Obviously, that was sarcasm.
Oh yeah.
Is sarcasm dead in this country? Like, come on. Obviously, the president of the United States was using sarcasm when talking about disinfectant, and not just being an absolute moron who is just processing in front of people because he doesn't pay attention to anything, and just treats everything as a public forum and not the responsibility of somebody who is the president of the United States.
We are certainly not a political podcast, but we would be remiss to at least not note in podcast form that the leader of the free world did say the words inject and disinfectant to fight the virus. I just wanted to get that out of... When I listen back on this like 20 years from now, I just want to remember until like my like nieces and nephews like, yeah, that totally happened. I don't know if you guys remember it, but he said those words. Let's go online and go find them.
So my question is, for the getting the sunlight inside, are we basically just gonna like kind of open up somebody's mouth and shove a UV light tube from a tanning bed basically in their mouth until it comes out the other end, and then turn it on, give a little bzz, 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 couple UV lights, and then pull it out and they're good to go? Is that how that works?
So since we're also a tech podcast, I can get into this because this tech actually exists. It's by a biotech company called A2. They're under the stock ticker AYTU. It may be A2YU, ATYU. One of those two. They're a penny stock. They were almost kicked off the Nasdaq a month ago because they were trading at under $1. Which, for some of you that have your Robinhood accounts open, that is enough to get you kicked off the Nasdaq. Hello, MoviePass.
Yes, majority shareholder of MoviePass here on the podcast.
By 11 shares. Still, thank you. Holding it down. It'll bounce back one day. When Donald Trump announced the whole UV light thing, or suggested it, or whatever you want to, verbiage you want to use, the company took their website down. They removed all their videos about their Heal Light technology, HEALIGHT. And they put it back up with a warning saying that this treatment is not meant to treat COVID-19 and has not been approved by the FDA. So they went into full cover our ass mode right after Donald Trump.
I think my favorite thing about this was that, like, in the New York Times article about our big special boy saying that people should drink bleach, the New York Times was like, some experts disagree.
Some.
Which is very funny.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Of course.
The company that makes all these products is coming out and saying, though there was a, and I don't know if this was actually released by the New England Journal of Medicine, if it was actually them or somebody who made just like a meme about it, but basically there was like a New England Journal of Medicine paper, and it was basically like, we read the bottle and it said not to do this, so we say don't do it.
Yeah. Goodness.
But you know what you can drink? Video games.
You can drink video games.
That is an odd segue, Alex.
Gamer fuel to be exact.
Soda review. Skirt.
Mountain Dew, we're open for sponsorships.
I had one of those. It was good.
Gamer fuel?
I had one of those the last day I was in the office before I came home and caught the coronavirus. I have, like asbestos, the coronavirus does give you superpowers. My psychic energy has reached levels unseen by man. So
did your APM immediately increase by at least 50% when you drank it?
Oh yes, certainly.
Wait, are you talking about Mountain Dew Gamer Fuel?
It was good. Would get another one. There's a little resealable pop tab thing that's kind of cool. It's dumb, and I like the gamer juice.
I just can't stand the taste of Mountain Dew. I'm with Jim Sterling when he describes it as it tastes like hedgehog piss. Not that I know what that tastes like, but when I think of hedgehog piss, probably this.
I like Mountain Dew. I tried the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Welcome to Unscripted Beverages.
Yep.
But yeah, I like a Code Red, and they make Code Red in Diet, which is great. Been really hard to get during the pandemic, so I've been drinking Diet Mountain Dew, and then I saw in the store they had the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar, and I tried it, and I don't like it as much as Diet Mountain Dew, but I will say they have a matte can, which I find very tactilely pleasing. So that's my review of Mountain Dew Zero Sugar.
I would do good. I would do some mildly annoying things for myself. If it meant Diet Baja Blast would be a real thing.
Wait, it is a real thing. Just go to Taco Bell and get it.
No, they just have regular Baja.
Diet Baja.
Oh, Diet Baja. Oh. Huh. I would try that.
You can get Baja Blast in the store, but I want Diet Baja.
I've heard rumors from semi-reliable sources that some of the gamer fuels are actually going to be coming in zero sugar flavors in the near future. So.
Okay.
Oh, I have good news for you, Josh.
What?
So I'm on Amazon right now because I love to research while we talk. And right now, for the low price of $22.99 for a pack of 12, you could get Gamer Fuel Zero. Watermelon flavored. I will send you the link later. I knew it! That's why I saved it for last!
Ray, you know I love watermelon, but I hate watermelon flavored shit. So
I'm afraid that is the wait. They have a variety pack of Zero. They also have another awful flavor for a soda. Raspberry.
Raspberry.
What
the fuck? I thought you were gonna say something like apple, and I'm like, but
I would drink an apple.
No,
a raspberry is significantly worse.
They just need to bring back Livewire and make it in a diet or zero sugar flavor as well.
Dude, Livewire was like manna from heaven.
That's the orange one, isn't it?
Yes.
When you first had that shit, you're like, I have become a god.
That hits differently, doesn't it?
Vault, man, back in the day, Vault was the stuff. That was, oh my god. Buddy of mine and I, we'd get 2 cases of Vault, we'd get a bunch of frozen pizzas, he'd bring his PS2 over, we'd sit in my living room and we'd play SOCOM all night and all day, polishing off those Vaults and pizzas, and it was amazing.
That sounds ridiculously unhealthy and like a good time, because SOCOM back in the day was a good time.
It was both, and we'd listen to System of a Down while we did it because we were that cool.
Yeah, we know.
Oh my gosh.
That was implied.
Just had to add that in there anyway. So
I do remember these days. Yeah.
Video
games.
So I'll start off. Let's go in a circle. First of all, let's start with Josh. Josh, what games you been playing in the past month?
So picked up for the missus some Animal Crossing New Horizons. I think I'm basically the only person I know who's not actively playing it. I pretty much only work on the stock market because I find that fascinating, but other than that, I don't really do too much with the Animal Crossing, but it's very pleasant to look at. I like the game. The wife is having a great time. Personally, I've been playing a lot of Doom Eternal. Picked that up right after the podcast and have been playing through that, and I gotta say, I really have enjoyed that game. I am right at the end game, so I'm at the point in the game where they say once you go to the next area, you can't come back until your mission is done. So close to the end game. I have really enjoyed the game so far. I think that the extra systems that they added on top of it, while probably could have been onboarded a little better, I think, Ray, you kind of mentioned this in the last podcast, like they throw a lot at you very quickly in the beginning, adding on from the first game when it comes to like managing your flame belch, managing your grenades, managing your blood punch, managing how you pick up weapons, ammo, armor, all that. It's a lot to get, but once you start to get in that rhythm, I found myself pretty quickly picking up and being able to just like, I am constantly moving, I'm flame belching, I'm punching, I'm chainsawing, I'm blowing shit up. And it's just, it's a lot of fun. I think that
we should talk about Doom Eternal a little bit, like when Mike gets done, because I have a lot to talk with you about.
Yeah, and maybe we do like we do a full cast on that at some point. But I think the expanded lore that is active during the game, as opposed to just being something you experience in pickups throughout, was a good addition. I think that they found a pretty decent balance of weaving a more overarching story and kind of pointing back to things that happened in Doom 2016 and even earlier on, and saying like, this is how we've got to this point, this is what happened, this is what you saw in the first game that actually might have meant one thing and actually means this, or it actually means what you thought it meant, that kind of thing. I've really appreciated that kind of expansion, while also still staying true to like, the Doomslayer fucking hates demons. Like,
so you feel like the lore is a pretty good like build up and addition.
Yeah, and I think it would have been really easy in this game for them to go too far and either way over explain things, or to take some of the mystique off of the Doomslayer and the overarching universe that they kind of start to introduce in Doom 2016. But personally, I felt like they found a really good balance of filling out that world, filling out the Doomslayer as a character tangentially, like through his kind of actions and his past, but also filling out the world without going too crazy about it. So I really like that. I will say the platforming and jumping in that game is a little tedious.
It's the worst part of the game, in my opinion.
But I will say, there is nothing more hilarious than the Doom guy grabbing onto a wall and just imagining him clambering up it. It's every time it happens, I laugh because it's the stupidest, funniest shit. Just animated, just like, and he moves his arm so fast. Like, I think they might have purposefully made it silly just to kind of like, it just like
the whole all of the platforming
like
in that game
being
is
uncomfortably buff.
Yeah. So
yes.
Like if real quick, pause right now, go to YouTube, just look up a clip of the Doom guy climbing a wall in Doom Eternal and just have a quick chuckle, and then come back to the podcast, because oh my god, it's hilarious. But yes, the platforming and parkour stuff in the game are they do some interesting stuff with like secrets and whatnot to show, hey, you've mastered this traversal and you can find some stuff and yada yada, all that exploration. But like, generally speaking, it's stupid and I hate it. So otherwise, Doom Eternal, having a real good time with it. I'm really excited for the ending. I can see myself going back and playing this game again to kind of just continue shooting demons and having fun, because I also just got a new graphics card, so the game looks even prettier. So yeah, that's Doom Eternal. And then the only other big thing I've been playing is actually I picked up Call of Duty Modern Warfare just a couple days ago, actually. It's on sale right now, $25, 25% off, I want to say, and just been kind of looking for something, a little more casual in my, having two baby Metroids in my life and not as much time for gaming as I'd like. So sometimes I'm like, I just need something that I can pick up for 30 minutes, play a couple rounds, not give two damns about what I'm doing, and then put it down. Or if I get interrupted in the middle of something because I have to go deal with a baby or a child doing something, like, it's not that difficult to walk away because I'm not super invested in it. But I will say, Call of Duty, still a lot of fun. They have added a lot to Call of Duty in the 8-10 years since I last played a game. I want to say
What's the last one you played?
Black Ops 2, I want to say, is the last one I had. I've been really enjoying it. I've really only played the multiplayer. I have not gotten into Warzone or the campaign itself, but I'm really enjoying the game. A lot of interesting game modes, especially if you just play on quick play. It's always fun to hear 12-year-olds shit talk each other while you're just not giving a crap about anything that's happening because, you're 30 and have a job and you're just looking to blow off some steam for a minute and this isn't your entire life.
Dude, the mute button is a thing.
Yeah, but sometimes there's a joy in that interaction of just getting to hear children be really stupid and way too into things. Because I know, Josh, at one point in time,
I believe the technical term is a squeaker.
Yes.
Yeah. Squeaker.
At one time, I was that squeaker tryhard, but I'm not anymore. And I can look back and I can laugh at them for it and have a good time. But I know. I mean, it's a little late to game because obviously Call of Duty came out in November. But that game is fun. I like the shooting. I like the movement. I like the progression, the way you unlock things, the way you kind of as you use certain weapons more, you unlock more items and attachments for it and more attachment slots. There's a lot to the game with operators and battle passes and skins and whatnot, and it definitely does not resemble the Call of Duty that I remember. Obviously we're also living in the Fortnite world where all that kind of stuff is really important to draw in that particular style of audience and player and get the most curb appeal. But I'm having a good time with it. I've enjoyed it. I guess I'm a COD player now again after 10 years, so here we are. God help me.
Time is a flat circle.
But yeah, I think those are the big three that I've been in the last couple weeks here. Mike, what about
Ray,
you?
I think it's
Mike?
Ray, we need to deep dive about Animal Crossing here.
Yeah, I'll step aside for a minute since I'm not playing Animal Crossing. Let these two.
I assume that's what you've been playing a lot lately, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, I've still been doing just my usual Destiny stuff. You've all heard the basic loop is the same. There's some new things. It's fun.
Destiny gonna
I still
Destiny.
like it. Destiny gonna Destiny. Not a huge ton of news to report there. But I've been playing some Animal Crossing and.
Me too.
I kind of forgot because those past games have been on 3DS or like the DS, and so I kind of forgot. Like, I think one thing that was like immediately apparent in this game was just how much a graphical upgrade was needed and appreciated for Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
just from like all the little details of like the tree, like the leaves blowing on the trees, like when the wind passes through them, or like just the tiniest little layer of like fuzz that each character has.
That's true.
Or
like the feathers and
clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
Just like all those just like little micro details just add so much. And goddamn, I love that game so much.
So before we deep dive,
I built a restaurant in my town.
Yeah,
Come to my restaurant.
I am enjoying the game. I'm logging in every day. I actually haven't logged in today. I need to fix that so I can get my daily chores done. And that's what it really is. It's just a game where you do chores and bullshit around. And if you're like Mike, you find a way to manipulate the turnip stock market.
Okay. Manipulate is that is an unfair. That is
a very fair word.
How am I manipulating?
That is very much manipulation. You are
doing wrong.
You are outside of your friend group. You have coordinated with Reddit.
Am I violating the Nintendo online?
You are not violating the Nintendo terms.
Actually, hold on. Pause on that. Actually,
okay.
Strike that. Delete this part. Because a website I use for turnip trading got delisted from the subreddit for turnip trading because of some sketchy stuff of like player counts and they may be accessing like certain data that Nintendo doesn't want them to access.
Oh, how are they doing that?
That's a great question.
Oh my gosh!
So I was just like, oh, But yeah, so
we should elaborate what we're talking about for the people that have never played Animal Crossing.
There's been some drama in our friend group. Well, first of all, now all of the wives have invaded the guide. What was once the Destiny raid planning chat, and then just became the other everything chat.
Is
now the Animal Crossing chat.
Yes.
So every day people post like, every day, like every weekend, everyone buys like all their turnips, which function on like a stock market. STALK. It's a pun. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha.
And then the prices fluctuate on different towns throughout the week. And normally what you're supposed to do is like get all your friends are playing and like everyone's sharing prices, and when someone's a good price, everybody goes over there to sell. But because I'm a big baller and not a small baller, I do this on the internet and wait 2 hours to get really dumb, goofy prices and pay like $100K tip just to set foot on the frickin' island. There's a bodyguard and everything. It's hilarious.
The one that you posted before where the person said, like, to come to my island, 500,000 tip, bring the Nook miles. If anyone violates any of these rules, I will shut down. No, it was like 460.
Yesterday. Like, I'm going to give you 500,000 bells when they're buying turnips at fucking $2.49. Get out of town. What are you doing?
And it was on like a Tuesday.
I love how this makes no sense to anybody who's never played Animal Crossing before. They're like, what is happening here? But
right.
The main conceit of the game, other than like fake yelling about turnip prices and a potential trade agreement between all of your friends, that we still have to legislate. It's in drafting process. You go there. You make a little village. Villagers come to your town. You pick your fruit. You sell your fruit. You do fishing. You can kind of build up your town and like decorate it in fun ways. Like it's a pretty similar loop to some other Animal Crossing games. There's lots of new like crafting stuff, which there's a lot of things I think need to be streamlined as far as like just like menu operation and such. But overall, Sarah and I are both playing it. We share an island, and we have super duper loved like playing it. Either whether it's just like dipping in for a couple of minutes to check our daily stuff, or to spend like an hour or two planning like vast projects on our island and like sculpting the land and all that stuff. And it's really great. Oh, one of my villagers had a birthday party.
Those look fun.
And I went to it. It was the most adorable. I cried. No joke. I was tearing up because of how adorable it is. But they're like dancing and like singing your town theme, and there's like little decorations. And you brought Bo a present, and he was so happy. And I'm just crying thinking about. Oh my god, it's the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And you guys think a turnip exchange is bad? There's a villager exchange.
The slave market.
It's insane. Like it's so funny.
How much is Bo selling for, Mike?
He in one thread he auctioned off for 10 million bells.
That could buy you a lot of home additions, Mike.
The most expensive addition to your house is like 2.3 million, and I can easily swing that.
Is that really the most expensive addition that ever gets to?
I think so. It's the base, and it's the final home upgrade. Yeah, I could swing that. I mean, that would take out quite a chunk of my net worth, but hopefully after this week, that would be like, pennies.
I think I'm about to do that this next week if I find a decent place that buys bells for. Yeah, if I can find a place that buys bells for 400 a stock, then yeah, I'll have beaten the game basically.
Okay.
No, you only beat the game when you have an island rating of 5 and KK Slider, the dog of the series.
It's 3.
Is it 3?
You only need 3 for KK to show up, and that's when you see like credits. But that's not really when it ends.
Oh, so that's basically you've beat the game. You got KK to show up.
Yeah, that's kind of like the main, like I guess, like what you would call like a main like quest line of like kind of setting up the town, colonizing the island, if you will.
So okay, can I and let me ask this about what you guys think is going to happen, because obviously I don't think that Nintendo has expected what has popped up around Animal Crossing and the way that people have, I don't want to say gamed the system, but, just kind of figured out ways to go probably a little quicker than they had anticipated on some of this stuff. Obviously, Nintendo dropped the interest rate on the savings account and whatnot. Like, do you think?
Oh, can we talk about that real quick?
Well, that's what I'm gonna ask is, like, do we think that Nintendo is going to do something with, either changing how people get turnip prices, like making the 500 turnip price more rare, or adding more late game stuff that is more valuable? Because Megan has a family member who posted recently and said, like, I've done everything I can do with bells. Like, I'm at the point where bells are meaningless because there's literally nothing else I can do. Is there going to be something where they add or they change to kind of keep people engaged? What do you see, or what do you think could happen that would make some of that more relevant again?
I guess what I would say is I think the nerfing of the changing of the interest rate, I guess, like, I mean, that seems kind of that ultimately I don't think of that. I don't know what it was and what it is now.
It was 0.05%. Literally 0.5%. And they decided that was too deep.
I feel like that's such like a, I mean, unless you have a truly like clownish amount of turnips, and like if you have literally hundreds of millions of bells, like that might matter. But I mean, I think like I guess I'm kind of at that point where, like, if I need, like, me having to swing bells for something is, not a problem. Like, that is very easy to do. But like but I think it's just kind of how I think they're gonna do, like, add more like seasonal events and like more kind of, it seems like they have some more content rollout. Like, they just added
they added the Earth Day
update
stuff.
That added a new part of the museum, and then Red's gonna start showing up to sell art and like counterfeits and all that. So I think they've definitely got like kind of a roadmap planned, just to keep people engaged beyond like, I have 1 million bells, I am done with the game now. And I think like the game also does, like, I think with like the town rating stuff, does a lot to encourage, because like I can spend a lot of bells on like decorations or whatever, but like I guess but like me building like the little restaurant that I got kind of inspired for did cost me like 20,000 bells to ultimately to put together. Like, that was not that, like, I crafted most of that stuff, but so I think they have to kind of make sure people catch that bug to want to continue doing like cool beautification stuff for their town, and I hope like continuing with like more live update and stuff. I guess go ahead, Ray.
I had a thought about that, and Josh brings up a good point, and Mike, you're experiencing it now. I think, calculating, home improvements and stuff that you could do, if you find some way to get 10 million bells off the stock market, which they give you a little prize for if you manage to do, you're done. You have all the bells you will ever need in that game, unless you just want to start planting money trees or whatnot, which is, by the way, when you plant bells inside the ground and it actually grows into a money tree.
If you dig out the money bag and put at least 10,000, if you put in at least 10,000, you have to put in at least 10,000 to get because it'll grow 30K.
That's a gamble. There's a chance that it won't turn into anything, actually.
Well, if you find like the golden money patch and dig the or like where you dig the random money bag out of the whole ground, whatever you plant in that golden hole is a guaranteed money tree. So just put in 10K, because then anything more than 10K isn't guaranteed to increase, but 10K will give you each one of those on the fully grown tree.
So you're saying 10K, because I've only been planting them inside the golden hole, as we'll call it. Mm-hmm. The 10K is a guaranteed payout.
Really?
30K.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's guaranteed. So
okay.
So just don't rebury the 1,000. Bury 10K. Plant it. and then a couple days you'll have three 10K bags on that tree.
So
they only sprout once, so they don't.
That's true. So to answer Josh's question, which is a good question, the question you're asking is specifically geared towards millennials like us that will go out of our way to game the system. The millions of
can't in real life,
right? Can't just pay off your home instantly inside of a week. What are you, mad? The millions of kids like your daughters, Josh, that are playing the game, they're not going to game the system. They're having fun with it, and it'll take them like the better part of like half a year to get through everything. Also, it's not like a constantly monetizing game, so Nintendo's like, we got your $60. We have like the smallest live service team supporting this. Here's your calendar. Here's what's going to happen throughout the next couple of weeks. Job's a good one. So I don't think it's going to be that bad, honestly.
Yeah, and I also can't imagine that Nintendo is too worried about the life and longevity of like the community, because it has. Let me see. It has been selling like hotcakes. Let's see here. It is the third best launch for any Nintendo game ever.
Yeah.
Following Smash Bros. Ultimate and Smash Bros. Brawl for the Wii.
Smash Brothers hype!
I mean, I will say there is possibly no better time for an Animal Crossing game to have launched. Like, this was the perfect game at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Like, Switches are selling like hotcakes because everybody wants to be, everybody's thinking about being home and playing games and whatnot, and like, kind of Nintendo's just what you think of. And then you've got Animal Crossing and everybody's talking about it, and it's like, oh, let's do this game where I can kind of socialize and kind of, live a life and do chores and forget about anything that crazy that's going on. So, not that I'm saying that Animal Crossing wouldn't have sold gangbusters without the pandemic, but I'm definitely saying that did not hurt in any way.
I would not have purchased it if I wasn't under quarantine orders. I am definitely one of the populace that have helped give Nintendo $60 specifically due to the circumstances of the world right now. Like, I think I was talking with you guys last time we recorded. Oh yeah, I should go into the games I'm playing. Wait, I'll let Mike finish before I go into that.
Yeah, so I guess like kind of final thing on Animal Crossing is, I think another thing that the game has going for it is, if you haven't looked on like online in like subreddits or like Twitter, there is I feel like it's very easy to get into like the creative tools, and the community doing like custom clothes, custom like designs is huge, and people are doing like, I think people are kind of, it's like, I think a lot of like the projects that people do in Animal Crossing and like their little things are very like shareable and very cool to see. So, and it's like, I think it's kind of a good feedback because I'll see stuff like that and that gives me good ideas, and then I'll post about them and then other people do them. So I think having like, I think that community is, I think there's a very like, I guess a very like wholesome kind of creative community in Animal Crossing that is doing a lot of really cool stuff that I think will definitely help. And that's the kind of stuff that, bells can't buy everything.
Aww. It's all about the friends we make along the way.
As I think I'm super liking this Animal Crossing. I feel like they've got some cool. I've been happy with we're past the scourge of Bunny Day. We survived. I just hope I can unload these turnips, and I like that game a lot. It's real good. I'm good. I'm done.
Hands up. So last time we talked, I was finishing up Doom Eternal. So, Doom Eternal is great. The big things I want to talk with you briefly about, Josh. So it's been out a while. It's been out like over a month. Fuck the Marauder. I just want to get right then and there out of the way. I know there are defense videos. There are whole YouTube videos, like sometimes some of them 30 minutes long, defending this one enemy in Doom Eternal. It's called the Marauder. He looks like the Doomslayer, except he's not. There's a story reason why he exists, and he is not a badly designed enemy, because the first time you see him, he's a boss fight. But when you start seeing him on the regular, I always just let out an audible sigh and rolled my eyes, because he's there to make sure you no longer have fun with that game. You have to stop everything you're doing, just stop, direct all your attention to killing this asshole. Mike, let me describe him to you.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, he's as fast as Doomslayer. You can't outrun him. He is purpose-built that you cannot outrun this MFer. You have a dash attack, he has a dash attack. Also, he has a shield. The shield blocks everything. Including, when you eventually find it, the BFG. Just blocks it. Bing! Bounces off. He's like, what you got?
It's like the Pursuer from Dark Souls 2.
He has a sword. No, I'm sorry, it's an axe. He has an axe that he swings at you, does a large amount of damage. I don't care how much armor you have. He has a super shotgun, which he holds with one hand. And he just flicks and just shoots you real quick. Whenever you get a little bit too close to him, he's like, get up out of my face, bam, fires it and reholsters it in one quick, it's like 20 frames of animation. Just bam, and then it's right back. And you're just like, what just happened? I got 2 buckshot in the face. He can summon a wolf made of laser energy that chases you across the entire battlefield. And yes, it is just slightly slower than you, so you have to cancel everything you're doing and take care of that, because it will not go away.
Nope.
He's got one more attack. Oh, it's escaping me. Oh, he can... He shoots lasers out of the axe, as if it wasn't enough.
Yeah, that guy can fuck up. And I will say the Doom Eternal has a good habit of, hey, remember this like boss encounter you had? What if now sometimes that was just an enemy that showed up on the regular?
Yeah.
How fun would that be?
The game's been out long enough that I don't think the Marauder's a spoiler, because if you go to the Doom Reddit, it's all they meme about, as rightfully so.
Yeah. I definitely have not died like in the same area as many times as when I've had to face a Marauder.
Okay, there's one section where you fight a Marauder. It's a Marauder, a snake demon, I forget what they're called.
Oh, those are
the room is so small that you're just constantly being harangued by the both of them. The snake demon is just wrapping its stuff around you and hitting it with whips. The Marauder is just in your face. And by the way, there are zombies crowding this tiny little alcove, and I must have died there 30 times. It must have taken me 2 hours to get past that one section. And I'm not playing it on easy mode or anything like that, because you just can't play a Doom game on easy mode. How fucking dare you? But oh my gosh, that enemy is so bad. The rest of the game is great. It's just that one enemy on the not the hardest difficulty. The absolute hardest difficulty is Ultra Nightmare. That's the one where you get one shot, and if you die, it wipes your file, and you have to start the entire game all over again.
I cannot fathom, like, I will say, there have been times where, like, I'll do, like, a Slayer gate, or I'll do an encounter, I'm like, holy shit, how did I not die? You know, I picked up the right number of 1-ups and whatnot to survive, but I'm like, how could you go through this entire game without even dying once? And I'm sure plenty of people do it very efficiently, but I'm just like, how?
Okay, so there is an answer to your question. What you do is you play the game on Nightmare mode, and you have a save file of all the chapters, and you keep doing perfect runs of the game on Nightmare mode. Then you go to your save file, because you can still save, and go to your Ultra Nightmare mode, and then you just go back, and you keep bunny hopping that way.
Yeah.
I have watched a playthrough of someone do a Ultra Nightmare run, and yeah, that's the only way you're going to do it. He talks about how many hours of practice he's done at one particular level just so he can make it through this run on a Twitch stream. And don't worry, it's wild looking, and you have to have an uncapped frame rate to do that, because 60 frames per second is not going to cut it. You need like 120 frames for those.
You need
perfect
all that
shots.
visual information.
Yes. Doom Eternal is great, though. I didn't love or hate the very final enemy you fight in the game. I'll want your opinions on that, Josh.
Yeah.
I hate the platforming. I think it ruins the flow of the game. The platforming is what I was thinking of when I said last time we talked that Doom 2016 is better, because the platforming in that version of the game, it was built around the level design as if you're going through a UAC laboratory. This one is just like, what if there are floating coffins that you have to jump up towards and clamber up on? And you're like, what's going on here? Mario Odyssey makes more sense than this. What am I doing?
I will say, in some of the combat encounters where they do have those, like, the jump bars and things like that, the
monkey bars,
yeah, some of those do make sense. But yeah, in the general, like, I am moving about this environment to go from place to place, it can fuck off.
Yeah, it's there to break up the high energy flow of the kill rooms and whatnot, the combat arenas.
Also, all the swimming sections can fuck off as well.
Also unneeded. Absolute 100% unneeded.
There's a swimming level, and
there are several.
Okay, wait a minute. I think
why would no?
No one asked for them
Super
either.
Mario World.
What's that?
No,
I
Super
said
Mario World is good.
Doom Eternal is good.
I would say Super Mario World is better than Doom Eternal.
Very good.
I'm gonna say that, but Doom Eternal is still.
It was just a joke. It's okay.
Yeah, it was a bad joke though.
Yeah, no, the swimming, there are a few swimming sections, and of course while you're swimming you're also somehow in irradiated water and taking radiation damage during it, and those sections can fuck the hell off.
That sounds dumb.
Swimming in toxic waste is also not a great, like, there are so many things that while I was playing this game, I see some people calling it the perfect game. I'm like,
I wouldn't go that far.
No, it's good. It's really, really good, and the music.
Oh, the music is so good. And I wear like a little like Fitbit style thing, and like, after a couple of combat encounters, I'm just like, check my heart rate. Oh, I'm at 90 right now. Like, the blood's pumping.
Yeah, the blood's pumping while you're just sitting down playing a game. Yes, I will say to everyone that's played it, myself included, your anxiety and your adrenaline gets jacked while you're playing Doom Eternal. It's because they introduced another mechanic that I didn't mention before. I think I mentioned it briefly before. How low your ammo is for everything. A fully upgraded super shotgun only has 24 rounds, which means it's only got 12 shots. That hurts. That when Doom 2016 gave you 60 and they're dropping all the way down to 12.
Was it 60 on Doom? Because I remember Doom 2016 still having a relatively little amount of ammo, but
yeah, fully upgraded super shotgun in Doom 2016 had 60 rounds, so you got 30 shots off.
Okay.
So
I never used a super shotgun anyway, so.
Okay, wow, Josh. I don't know what to say to you right now.
I'm just that good.
How do you? Okay, oh no.
Oh, so
Dude, the grenade launcher on the shotgun is the ultimate weapon.
The grenade launcher is a fun weapon, and what is it? Instantly stunning cacodemons by firing grenade lobs into their mouth. That never gets old.
Yeah.
None of the glory kills get old, actually. None of them.
Yeah.
They're like 8 on the Arachnotron. I love it. Some of them I was figuring out near endgame. All the mechanics of how to take out enemies, like taking out the Arachnotron's top little laser thing at the very top.
I think that is new. Like hey, these demons have a few weak points, and you can disable or disarm or stun them by doing it this certain way, and using a certain weapon at a certain time to do something automatically. That has been a pretty cool mechanic. I forget what they are. The big upgraded pink guys with the armor. You go up, and if you have a blood punch charge, you punch them and it knocks all the armor
the pinky demons.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blood punch instant kills them and whatnot.
Yeah, there are some really good things that they added to that game. There are some frustrations and challenges. Definitely not a perfect game.
So my favorite was the super shotgun because it has the meat hook, and there's nothing funnier than like Spider-Maning to a demon and swinging around them across the room while they're on fire, and then when you're done with them, unloading both barrels of the shotgun round while you're flying across the room to meet with another pack of demons. That is fun. That never, ever, ever got old. If the game was just that, it'd have been perfect game.
I just need 10 hours of that. Just
please. That's kind of what my end game turned into. It turned into 5 hours of me swinging around with a meat hook shotgun. Oh yeah, Doom Eternal is great. If you like the first one, you should play it. The jokes aren't as subtle as the first game. As a matter of fact, some of the jokes are straight up in your face, like in the hub world. If Josh knows what I'm talking about, the Fortress of Doom. There's just a bunch of like really cheesy jokes there, but they're fun. They're fine.
Yeah, I
obviously have been playing a lot of Animal Crossing with Mike and crew, and lots of good stuff is happening. Red has come to my island. He's selling us some artwork. Trying to manipulate the stock market. I'm 600k stocks in. We're gonna see what happens throughout the next week.
This is it's kind of funny because I'm like, Sarah asked me if we need to like pool our bells together. I'm like, no, I'll swing it this week. It'll be fine. So right now I have like my little patch, my turnip patch set to hold about 1.1 million bells worth of turnips approximately.
Goodness.
Plus or minus for depending on the buy price.
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, okay, so this will take me two full trips to unload, and then like a third trip for pocket change.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's nuts.
Yeah. I'm not saying like, well, now I need to make sure that everyone in our group chat knows how like the price trend works, because there is a way that you can predict a spike.
Is there?
Yes, because here I'll repost the image again tomorrow. But
okay.
Like, there's like different kinds of charts. Like there's either like the small gain random price, and then there's like the one that's like down spike.
Okay.
And we're looking for that big spike. That's what we want.
All right.
That's the moneymaker.
So yes,
Let's go.
That's basically Animal Crossing. It's manipulating the stock market because the real life stock market is still not doing great. Oil.
Hey, even if you go bust on turnips, you can have, if you have space to hold oil, then buddy, let me tell you.
Yeah, if you got like some spare space in your car, go to your local refinery and say, "I'll go ahead and take that barrel off your hands. Come on, just put it in the back."
It's just like, yeah, I got a backpack. Is that
and they'll pay you to take it.
Yeah, basically, it's everything's fine. The economy is real. It's very real, folks, and not fake.
Yes. So
I want to talk about a news story, actually.
Oh wait! I got one more game.
Okay, go ahead.
I've spent the last almost 30 hours playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And if you are a fan of the original Final Fantasy VII, you have no idea what you're in store for, because they found the Midgar okay, it says on the back of the box.
Good way or bad way? Please elaborate.
Controversial. That's controversial, because the Midgar section of Final Fantasy VII, and this isn't a spoiler, it actually says on the back of the box, this game only covers the Midgar section of Final Fantasy VII. I checked on the back of my own box. That section took like 7 hours in the original PlayStation 1 game. I'm at hour 30, and I know where I am in the story, and I'm not leaving Midgar for another long time. They expand out whole sections of the game. They're telling like little gaps and filling in little parts of the story that weren't there before. They're adding more character. It's good. The combat is great. It's this beautiful combination of it's a combination of Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts, and with a little bit of Final Fantasy 7 sprinkled in, and they make it work. And without getting into spoilers, I would say if you are a fan of Final Fantasy games, Kingdom Hearts games, or if you've ever played Final Fantasy 7, you are doing yourself a disservice not playing this game. It is that good. And
okay, Ray, I have a question for you. I don't know if you can answer this. As someone who has not played Final Fantasy 7,
yeah,
but I played the occasional like RPG, I guess.
Yeah.
Should I jump in on this? Would it be enjoyable to someone who hasn't played the original?
Do you like action RPGs?
I haven't. I feel like I haven't played an action RPG in like a long time, but I do. I would say I do enjoy them.
You should definitely play this game, because this is very, very action JRPG, and it's super anime. You have to like anime to like this game, because if you don't, you are setting yourself up for failure.
Well, it's a good thing I hate anime, so.
No one brings into question.
We should do a. I forgot that we are also going to be. We should also do a podcast about all the recent prog rock that we've been listening to.
Talking about JoJo.
And my friend Robert Speedwagon.
Robert E.O. Speedwagon.
Robert E.O. Speedwagon.
Okay.
I was so mad. It's so dumb.
Okay.
Josh, watch JoJo.
I'm
please.
working on it. Okay. So, obviously, they're breaking up Final Fantasy VII into 3 parts, and we are just focusing on the mid.
3 or 4? It could possibly be 4.
For something that I bought, whatever, 20 years ago for whatever price, and could buy, a similar story, like $180 plus to get the full Final Fantasy VII remake and retelling, and like you're at 30 hours and you've still got more before you're even done through just like the first part of the game,
the
full
section,
part of this game. Like, there's a part of me that's excited about getting to see Final Fantasy VII in the fidelity that I remember it in. Like, the way I experienced Final Fantasy VII the first time is the way it looks now. But, like, I just don't know if 100 hours plus and $200+ is a reasonable expectation. And what, like, they're padding this out now, but at what point have they padded too much and they either can't wrap everything up in time, or they start to get to the point where they feel like they have to continue to pad and they just make it so unbelievably long, or just hey, we are making this such a daunting task for us that it takes us another 4 years to get out the next part. Like,
yeah.
Do you think this can pay off? Do you think it's worth all of that time and money? Like, are the things really adding that much value to the point where I'm going to invest 100 hours over the next however many years and $200 to relive the story of Final Fantasy VII kind of up-resed?
So, here are some things that might help you, because I was asking myself the same questions for years, and now that I'm actually, like, heavily invested into it. Here's what you get. 1, fully voice acted. Everything is fully voice acted. Even the people around you, like all the other NPCs around you, they're all talking, and you have a bar next to you that's giving you their closed captions. Everything is fully voice acted. That in and of itself, to me, is worth the price of admission. Good news, they do calm down Barrett's voice actor after you get past the tutorial section. He doesn't stay what Japan interprets to be a large black man to be for very long. 3.
As someone fluent in Jive, you probably can,
indeed
confirm that for us.
I mean, it was easy for me to understand.
Can confirm.
Can confirm. No, he does get like a lot of more calmed down, reserved parts. There are many sections that okay, I'll give Josh an example since I remember playing Final Fantasy VII with you. The part where you have to cross-dress Cloud at the Honeybee Inn, that part took like 20 minutes, maybe 25 if you want to do everything to make Cloud the best-looking model there. That part now takes like 2 hours, as an example, and it's going to take you 2 hours, and there's nothing you can do to make it take any less. It might take maybe an hour and 45 minutes if you're going to rush through it. Is because they're expanding out, they're adding more, what's originally a comedic section, more comedy to it, they're adding more story to it, they're adding certain cutscenes. There's a dance-off. There's now a full-on dance-off that Cloud has to win the affection of being put into a dress, and it's perfect.
Is this dance-off something that just happens, or something that you are actively, like, pressing buttons to get Cloud
You're pressing buttons.
Oh my god. I both love and hate it. Like,
it's wonderful. The whole sections that, okay, there are certain story elements that in the original game they said, yeah, this part just happened. They now make you play those parts to see how it happened. That actually gets into a little bit of spoilers, but I'm trying to think of an example that happens like really
I've
early
heard,
in the game.
I've heard of, like, you don't need to get into full examples. Like, I've heard of some of that stuff or people mentioning that, and I can see that. I'm worried about the longevity of the value proposition and the time it takes to see this project out. I mean, honestly, the fact that this first part came out and at all, I am beyond. Like, I legitimately thought, and I'm sure that you can pull audio of me saying that, like, this won't happen. But
yeah, it's never coming out.
Just the fact that we got part 1, great. I'd love to say that we'll have time to play it, but I probably won't. But I would like to try. But man, I'm excited. I'm glad it exists. It just seems like a lot, and I'm very interested to see what 2 and 3 and maybe 4 look like. Only time.
Me too, because the story is going in different directions that allude to this will definitely at least take 3. There's so much build up, and then there's so much lack of things. How to put it? Okay, combat wise. You definitely, starting near like the end of the game, you start seeing Cloud coming into his own a lot more faster than he did in like the first game.
Yeah.
I mean, strength and stuff. Like there's an attack you have called Infinity's Edge, and it's the most anime-looking attack. Cloud leaps into the air with his sword. He draws the Infinity symbol and then hits the enemy as if that somehow made it stronger, but it does. It's weeb as hell, and I love it. I love it so much.
I love it.
I highly recommend this game. You should definitely give it a shot.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
News.
Yeah.
Well, I do have. This is not the newest news story, but I thought it was a pretty big deal, and one that I think was very interesting to me. We're almost at an hour here, so we can cover this and then go from there. This is, if you guys didn't know, this is the 35th anniversary of Mario, or the Super Mario series.
Oh.
And multiple sources have told the publication the Video Games Chronicle that Nintendo is planning to hold an event to coincide with the 35th anniversary of Super Mario. As part of its anniversary celebrations, Nintendo will reveal plans to re-release most of the Super Mario 35-year back catalog this year, remastered for the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo will reveal several. Apparently, Nintendo is also set to reveal other Mario titles in 2020, including a new installment of the Paper Mario series and a deluxe version of Super Mario 3D World from 2013, which I super duper loved that game. It sounds like we might. So basically, kind of the big thing is, in addition to some kind of classic Mario games, we might get remasters of Mario Sunshine and Mario Galaxy for the first time on Switch.
I'll take a remaster of Mario Galaxy, but Mario Sunshine can stay where it is in the past.
Yeah. I liked that game. Man,
I've never played either, so
Mario Sunshine is a weird Mario game.
I watched the
weird.
Giant Bomb Crew play Mario Sunshine, though, so
some of the later levels are pretty. It's the best parts of Mario Sunshine are just. You should just play Galaxy. Don't play Super.
Yeah, the best parts of Mario Sunshine is when they take the hose off of you and you're just playing a 3D Mario game and you're like, oh, this is what I was expecting on the GameCube.
The hose platforming, you're just like so slow and like floaty and yeah.
But yeah, Galaxy's great. Galaxy is a phenomenal game.
A Galaxy remaster would be amazing. Because there's 2 Galaxies, so I'd assume that they would probably do both.
Mm-hmm.
I'm most excited for this because I love 3D World. If it's a weird game because it's on the Wii U, so like not a ton of people I feel like played that one, but it is. it's kind of like
I played it.
I feel like that
I liked
game.
it.
You know how like there's like the new Super Mario Bros. Where like people can like multiplayer together and like platform. I feel like 3D World is the best version of that because there's actually room for 4 people or like two or 3 or 4 people to actually platform at the same time and not like constantly like fuck each other over accidentally.
Oh, you're talking about
So,
the
like,
Wii U version, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played and beat that one. That's a really cool game. It's easy as hell, but it's a really cool game.
Yeah, it's easy, but it's like it's really fun, and like there's like lots of great music in that game.
Yeah.
Like the Bowser Casino World thing, like that. It's a bop.
Yeah.
So this is again sources, it's not been confirmed, but I feel like Nintendo has been pretty good about kind of bringing some less popular things from the Wii U to the Switch. I mean, they even did it for things like Mario Kart. So I had kind of felt like 3D World would have been like an absolute like it and for me it always kind of felt like it was going to happen at some point. So
hopefully it gets the love it deserves because
we might be getting
that.
I seriously, that is a super duper fun game, and I really hope when that does come out, people give it a shot because it's super fun, and I think people will like it. So that's kind of an interesting news thing.
Nice.
So
I'll be very interested to see what actually happens with that. Did they give a date or anything of when they're expecting that, or just some that is planned for sometime this year, kind of like?
These are all rumors.
Well, sometimes those rumors come with like time frames, like we're expecting this in Q3. Oh, we're expecting this in,
I see you.
Some that kind of. I didn't know if they had attached any kind of like time frame for that. I was just curious. It's not the end of the. Not super important. Just curious.
Yeah. So it was probably okay. Yeah. So I think the article, Video Game Chronicle says here that this was planned to be announced at around E3. With the cancellation of that, since it was probably planned for a direct anyway. Yeah. I don't know how they already kind of do that remotely, so I don't know how much of if that changes the timetable of that. Who knows? So I would imagine that that's probably when that would happen, as that's I think like a remastered Galaxy is a pretty hype generating headline.
Oh my gosh, if it was a remastered Galaxy and it was both games inside of it and you could play Yoshi in part 1.
Yeah. And it sounded like based on I think and the report is also saying that it's not just going to be like a direct port, like there will be doing some kind of like touch ups, new levels, stuff like that. So I think that would be I think that's a pretty safe expectation.
This is too cool for Nintendo, and they'll never do it. But they should be like, "Yo, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, available now."
Now Nintendo's pulled that before. Remember at their E3 conference, they're like, "Fortnite's coming to the Switch. By the way, it's available for download this moment." And boom.
That is true. That is true. They've
done that. They are not afraid to drop a hammer.
It is harder to do that with. When you have physical stuff, but hey, it could still happen.
Yeah. Also, Nintendo has said that they have nothing to announce on the topic.
Okay.
So
just like they have nothing to announce on the topic of the potential updated Switch and the firmware update that had sort of hinted to a second screen for a potential updated Switch. So. Again,
we can't. No, I don't want to go back to 2 screens. No, I like the one.
In the last or the second to last Nintendo Switch update, there was some sort of like source code that was hinting towards second screen play. Now, if they were to release a revised Switch that had some sort of like, hey, you can, for certain aspects, cast to your dock that plays your TV and do like, Mario Maker, and you can draw everything on your Switch as it is, but still see it on your big screen, kind of like I don't know, the Wii U but better. I wouldn't hate that idea. Just say
I've been hearing rumors of the Switch Pro for the past 2 years now. It's like, guys, shit or get off the pot. I mean, just do it or don't. One of the two.
Well, and like the thing is, like, I mean, you know, the Switch is based on the Tegra 1. The Tegra 2 came out pretty close after that, but now they've had enough time to, like, you know, work with the Tegra 2 and lock that down and you know, do some updates. I think that there is room for a Switch, you know, a more updated Switch that is this same form factor, usable on the screen, has a little more horsepower, has a little more power efficiency. You know, especially when you see things like some of those more big budget ports getting put onto the Switch, having a little extra horsepower. Like I can see the argument for that. I can see them wanting to, you know, explore a second screen option to bring some of the back catalog of even DS games onto the Switch, since that is their primary and only platform now. And, you know, they're not going to have an opportunity to, you know, remake Majora's Mask on the DS, 3DS 2 kind of thing. So, like, I can see that base available, but it's just like, I don't know.
If Nintendo went and got their druthers and decided to virtual console GameCube, DS, and 3DS games onto the Switch with the 3D option disabled, I mean, it's just they're printing money at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, and the entire Advance catalog. Why not? The entire Game Boy Advance catalog. Yeah, maybe I want to play Golden Sun on the run.
That's the one reason why they wouldn't. That will never happen. Is because someone might play Golden Sun on it.
I would if that happened at that point, I would just like, here's my credit card, max it out. Yeah. Let me have my childhood. Thank you very much.
I don't think Nintendo truly ever understands. Maybe it's a coding thing, because I'm actually not believing it's a coding thing, because emulators are just too easy to come by, and people, like, with downtime make these very powerful, like, Wii U emulators where they get the computer screen emulating the tablet. So I don't believe it's a coding thing anymore. I stopped believing that a while ago.
And the fact that there is a virtual console on the Switch for Super Nintendo and NES games, like, they could do it. They could tomorrow say, and they've done it on the other consoles. Like, they could do it tomorrow. I mean, heck, you could. Granted, you had to have a piece of hardware, which was basically just a Game Boy Advance attached to your GameCube. But like, there was a time where you could play Game Boy Advance games on your television. People want that. Like, sometimes I think Nintendo hates money.
Fuck them.
Yeah. Like.
That's right. Fuck them.
They hate me making money based on how arduous it is to go fly
I
to
know
another town in Animal
Reggie
Crossing.
Fils-Aimé will stay loose-lipped forever about some of the internals of Nintendo, but like, there's a part of me that believes that like a lot of the things we're saying, Reggie Fils-Aimé probably knew, but like talking to some of the older leadership, some of the folks in Japan, and saying like, why don't we do this thing? And like, I can only imagine the kind of pushback that he got, and just some of those internal discussions of like, yo, we could do this and it would make us lots of money. And like, just why do some of the things that seem like no-brainers for Nintendo just never happen? Or it just, it is a very...
I'm not gonna like armchair quarterback them. I don't know how big company go. You know, I don't know how Nintendo machine go brr. I imagine that's like, they've probably talked about some of that stuff, but maybe just, you know, they seem like a very conscientious, like, cost benefit type company. Like, if the math doesn't make sense for them to do that, then based on, you know, X or Y, no matter whatever how valid that is, they just won't do it.
Not to like go right against you, but I kind of refuse to believe that, because there are a lot of off-the-shelf emulators that either A, Nintendo have already written themselves, or B, that could be easily licensed and put on the platform. And, you know, they have all the data. They have the ROMs. They are easily able to run these games. Like, they're already doing it on the Switch with games. They could, like... they have the data, they have the ROMs. They could just put those pieces on the store and sell them. Hell, I bet a decent number of people rebought games that they had on the Wii when they got their Wii U. Granted, there were only 10 people that had Wii U, but those 10 people bought basically the same things that they had between those two because Nintendo refused to do any sharing between them. Like,
I've double dipped many Nintendo game. I think I've double dipped the Mega Sin Legacy Collection at least 2 or 3 times now. Yeah, I double dip for Nintendo games because most of the time they're really well polished games. I actually am 100% in Josh's court. There is a certain point where you're like, no, at this point you're just not doing it. How hard is it to get like a 25 megabit Super NES game onto your highly powerful system that works as a console and handheld? I refuse to believe it's that powerful.
My Nintendo grievance, I mean, more than like releasing a back catalog, is like, is you know, the one thing that will never happen is just
the online play is
ungoofing online stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
the Animal Crossing friend system is absurd. Like,
it is. If this was like the first time they've ever, if this was the year 2000, and this was the first online system ever, it would be excusable.
No, I think this system is unacceptable even in 2008. Like, it is unbelievable that in 2020 you have to be friends with a person, go to their island, then friend them, then best friend them, and in an app on the phone in the game you can see them, but you can't send them messages, and they can send you messages, but you open into one app and then you have to go to another app to send them a text. Like, it is unbelievable.
Nothing will never not tick me off. So I have a lot of work colleagues and we all play Smash Brothers. I could see when they're playing Smash Brothers, when I'm playing Smash Brothers, I cannot ever join their games. I have to physically call them or text them and say, I'm creating a lobby inside the game. Here's my friend code. Let's fight in Smash Brothers.
I mean, and like, honestly, like, all this like Nintendo Online system-wide stuff should be better, but being the big dumb bitch that I am, I just am annoyed with how many clicks it takes to go to somebody else's island.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
to
absurd.
go to Animal Crossing, because you talk to Orville. He's like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" And I'm like, "I want to visit." Click. I have to say, "Oh, got to save the game the first time." I'm like, "Oh, what do you want to do? Do you want to use a friend code? Do you want to do this?" I'm like, "I want to do this." Okay, I have to save the game a second time, and I'm just like,
and then you have to have an annoying animation of you traveling there. And then there are weird,
it's
like...
very cute the first time.
If somebody is doing something on the island, it might disqualify you from being able to leave or being able to do something else. Like, it is unbelievably complicated and just... It's inexcusable. That is one of those things that proves to me that Nintendo just flat out refuses to understand how online systems should work. Like, it's not that they can't do it, it's that they choose to purposefully make it bass-ackwards because you.
So Jim Sterling had this bit when he did his Animal Crossing review, and I thought this was emblematic of the problem I have with Animal Crossing, even though I love playing it. If you sit down and think how long it takes to go from the Dodo airport to another person's island, that's like 2 minutes. How many different islands have you been to? How much of your life have you been in just Animal Crossing menus to get to?
As someone who is like does high-powered selling of turnips, one of the most stress anxiety inducing things in this game is when someone is selling for like 650 turnips and you've got a whole fucking load, and then every 5 seconds the whole game stops for like a solid 40 seconds to like watch the fly-in cutscene, and then somebody's leaving as you're like inching your way towards the Nook cranny to like try and sell your turnips and get out of there before the whole thing crashes.
That sounds like hell.
It's just like, I mean, I don't. It's I would wish that would be different. and I think it's bad.
It
is like the way it is.
I agree with Joe. And here's the effed up thing about it, and here's the part that like makes me sad. We're paying for this service. We're paying for this. If it was still free, I would have no room to complain. Even I don't care that it's $20 a year. I care that it is a cost and it is just this bad. It should. Oh my gosh, Mike, when's the last time you played Smash Brothers online?
It's been a minute.
The lag is still bad. It never got any better. It's still as bad as like day one. There are just some matches that are just unplayable because you're paying for Nintendo to do peer-to-peer Switch connections. God help you if you're on Wi-Fi. And that's like how most people play Smash Brothers, like the majority of the world. Yeah, I hear you, Ethernet Kings. I get you. I feel you, but most people don't have the Nintendo Ethernet cable.
Most people don't have the fucking dongle. And
oh my gosh, you have to pay for a dongle just to have an Ethernet cable to your Switch! I feel like this has become the bitch on Nintendo hour, but the chickens are coming home to roost, Nintendo! the small little inconveniences have been piling up for years, and this is it.
You see, the tragic thing is that we're like that one meme where we're the guys yelling who are like, no, you can't make your online system this bad. It'll make you're being so irresponsible with this system. You should know better. And Nintendo's just like, ha, Animal Crossing machine, go brr.
Yeah, and here we are, the suckers that just
nothing
made
we can
them.
do, so
yep.
It's
well,
so
you wanna dunk on a different video game company?
All the time. Not all the time, not really, but sure, why not?
And maybe you guys might think differently than this, but did you guys see the Forbes report a couple days ago about the PS5?
No.
So basically in the PS5 launch, Forbes was announcing that they talked to Sony, and Sony is looking to reduce the number of consoles available at launch for the PS5. So whereas the PS4 sold around 7.5 million units during its first two quarters, which was sold out and difficult to find, they're right now of only expecting to produce 5 to 6 million units for the end of the fiscal year, ending in March 2021. So basically from November to March or whenever, they're only looking to have 5 to 6 million units. So potentially 1.5 to 2.5 million fewer consoles. Now they're saying part of that is been struggles to keep the price down. So they're saying that because they're potentially looking at a $499 to $549 price tag, that the higher price tag due to sourcing parts difficulties is going to depress
the HD DVD player.
Yeah, basically is going to depress demand enough that it's keeping their production low. So I don't know what you think about that. $500 to $550, 1.5 to 2.5 million fewer units available in the first quarter or two. Like,
I mean, I guess like, you know, what was the PS4? Did it launch at 500?
It lost at 500, yeah.
I
think 500 is
fair.
fair.
Like a 50, like I guess like 549. I think is like pretty.
The PS4 launched at $399.
Did it?
Oh, it launched at
Yes.
$399.
Oh, it was $400. That's right. The Xbox was like $600, wasn't it?
The PS3 was $499. PS4 was $399.
Are you sure the PS3 wasn't $600?
It might have been
$599 US dollars, $599.
Yeah. He was so proud of that price.
Yeah, I have that. It's Ridge Racer.
$599.
Ridge Racer. I have that E3 conference burned into my brain.
It's so cringy to go back to.
It's giant enemy crabs. Attack its weak point for massive damage.
That gets weak point for massive. That one never dies. That will never die. That's a meme.
I mean, it's the timeless thing. It's like, Mike, how do we do this Destiny raid? Oh, you attack the weak point
for massive damage.
Yeah. So like, I guess like 549 is definitely kind of on the steep end, but this thing is gonna have like, I know memory has gotten a lot cheaper these days. It's gonna have like like a terabyte solid state drive, which stock. So I guess like
I don't know,
I mean,
man.
I think that they're gonna have to do some. They'll have to do some work to like justify that, but maybe this is just my brain being stupid, but I don't think that is like an astronomical number. I mean, I think that that's probably I would be really surprised if they go higher than that. But I think they would have their work cut out for them at 549. But I think I can see that as, I feel like that is a tough pitch to make. But I think 549 is probably the highest they could go before that.
I would agree with that. The 549 is the very highest end they can go. I think that in certain aspects, some of this new technology, some of the really, really fast memory, like I think there's a world where that is a justifiable expense in terms of a console price, especially kind of given where computers, mid to high range computers are. Like, I can see that. What I'm more struggling with is the amount of units that'll be available. Like, and obviously they're very smart and they have a lot of analysts that are looking at this, and I guess making sure that you stick to your guns and have the fast memory and some of the part components for that DualSense controller, like you want to make sure that you have all the parts and whatnot, but having that few units available at launch, despite the first, the predecessor being so hard to come by, and having 25% more, just seems like a bit of a misstep for the company that's kind of been in the lead. But
well, I have something to add on to that, like economically speaking, Josh. So I think, and this is just me guessing, based on our current economic environment, like let's not mince words here.
Rapidly approaching Great Depression level of unemployment.
Right. Like what was it? 6.2 million people lost their jobs. I think it was 2 weeks ago, something like that was the number, or at least reported. That if you account for that, plus the fact that if the console is actually $150 more than its predecessor, I think chopping off an extra 1.2 million units off the top, that sounds fine to me. Because I personally, it's not that I wouldn't have the means to buy a PS5 at launch, but $550 is a lot of change for a video game console. Like, show me a game that will justify that price, then I will buy it. But not a second before then.
And so I think that's probably like the big. I mean, again, it's like we'll see. Like it's just that they're probably, like, I would say justifiably a little cautious about that. Just because, again, like the unemployment is at like 13%, and based on a lot of projections, that number is not going to recover as soon as like America is reopened. So
I will say,
time. So
yes,
I think
you're right there. I doubt with the way that supply chains and ramping up for mass production work that those factors were seriously considered, because I'm imagining some of these decisions were in place long before COVID, at least in the planning process. And okay, how many of these components, how many of these fast flash chips can we get, how many of these sensors for the DualSense controller can we get by, because I think it says here that they're expecting full mass production of the console to begin in like June. So I would imagine some of that decision was made before COVID. I mean, it may work out that COVID will help them kind of hit those targets, but if you can go to a store and pick up a PS5 off the shelf in the first week or two, we'll know that their cut was justified. And if you can't get them 2 days after, then we'll know that they might have undersold it a little bit.
And I guess, like, it kind of makes sense as part of like the larger sales pitch, I guess, if they are going, hypothetically, if I guess it essentially, I think it makes more sense if there is like a supply problem with a console that is $549 than one that is $400. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
If there is just going to be a reason that because of that pricing, that is justified, that makes it harder for them to produce, and keep it at that price, then that means they might just take the hit as far as like having the supply of it, since it is going to be more a higher price.
Yeah, that or Sony
So
just released.
I feel like that makes sense.
Or maybe Sony just released this just to kind of test the waters a little bit and see if people would react poorly to that price point and where they could get away with. And then when they finally release it, they're like, oh, it's just $349.
I mean, that's preferable, honestly.
Who knows? It'll be interesting to see. So.
Okay, now hold on a sec. I do have a thing. If they announce the PS5 and one of their early launch titles is Bloodborne 2, day one purchase. Jobs are good. Bloodborne 2, 60 frames per second, continuation of the story from before. I'm like, all right, here we go. We're going deep.
The moon presence beckons once again.
I'll continue on my my recent trend of this last cycle of getting I'll get the PS5 in 6 years when it goes on super sale with a bundled copy of Spider-Man 4.
I mean, that's not the the PS4 I got recently, it was $250, and I'm really happy with that purchase.
Yeah, I think it was $200. Like, I think it was holiday. 5 years. I got it holiday 2018 with Spider-Man for like $200, and that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a very, very solid price. Obviously, the prices on these will come down. Do we feel like the Xbox Series X will be around that price as well? Because if they're two companies competing for like, hey, our consoles are $550. It's like, all right, cool.
Well, and I think given the graphic fidelity and the power that they're looking to have, because I think for Microsoft, they want to be able to claim that most powerful console title again this cycle.
I don't know why.
I mean, I imagine that their pricing will be in that. Plus, those fast memory chips are expensive. Like, I think that's probably a lot of the cost. So I would imagine that the Xbox Series X is gonna be in a similar price bracket. I think the gap between these two consoles is getting slimmer and slimmer, and I think that the price is also going to be just the same.
That's what I was going to say. Is I have a feeling that these consoles are going to be more identical than they ever have been before, in terms of like, I mean, the PS4 and an Xbox One are pretty darn similar, but I have a feeling that these things are basically almost like kind of converging. Oh, hello, kitty. Hi, cat. Our cat Ripley is like playing under my desk now. Hi, Ripley.
Ripley's
hey,
awesome.
baby.
Josh, by the way, that reminds me, watch the Alien movies.
They're really good.
I know, I need to.
But I have a feeling that this is... I don't know how popular or what the subscriber count is of like Game Pass, but just as an offshoot from like the console itself, I have a feeling that Microsoft is going to try to lean on that heavily, because it seems to be a pretty like... I think everyone who talks about Game Pass is like, oh yeah, I like Game Pass. Like, it seems something that's pretty like has like positive reception.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think that they will use as like a differentiating and inflection point for like.
I wouldn't be
Xbox
surprised
did.
if like Xbox Series X launched with like you buy the Series X in the launch window and you get 3 months of Game Pass included. Like doing something like that to really get people hooked, and also give them a bit more of like, you're going to get this, and you're going to, with the backwards compatibility with Game Pass, like, you're going to have stuff to play on it right away. You're not just going to buy your one launch title and then put the console down for the next 6 months while you wait for the library to catch up. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft did something like that to help justify the purchase by saying, look, you're going to have a ton of content available right away, from stuff that is boosted by Series X, stuff that has been made for it, stuff that is just fun to play on. Like, we're going to give you a lot of game and a lot of reason to pick our ecosystem this time over Sony.
Also, I appreciate one thing for the Xbox Series X. The best thing I appreciate about it is that Microsoft has just given it the pretense, and it just looks like a PC tower.
It looks dope. It's just like a black obelisk. It's like hell.
It was like, okay, it's just a computer tower. All right, this is where we're at.
I just want that cube. I just want that like tower from like 2001: A Space Odyssey. just in my backyard. I'm like, what is that thing? Oh, it's my Xbox.
So basically, you want the PS2 without the little PlayStation symbol on it, because that's what it looked like.
But made of obsidian and terrifying, and representing the man's desire to progress.
What a great movie! All right, well,
it's pretty good.
We're getting sidetracked.
On that note,
yeah.
Where could people find us?
Well, Michael, we're all over the internet. You can get us on Facebook at Unscripted Gaming. Just type us in the search bar, follow us there, give us a like, chat with us. You can get us on YouTube at Unscripted Gaming. You can get us in your earballs at soundcloud.com/unscripted-gaming. You can get us at twitter.com at unscripted_gaming. You can get us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher. Oh, by the way, you can also go to unscriptedgaming.com. Yes, you heard it right.
We have a website.
Unscriptedgaming.com. Link out to all the places you can get us. We're soon also going to be linking our writing there as well. Some of us do some blogging from time to time. But for now, you can get all of our Creed Got Robbed. You can get our Postscripted. You can get everything we do in one capacity or another at unscriptedgaming.com. So, yeah, visit it. Go to it. Click it. Bookmark it. Send it to your friends. Do it.
And we appreciate all the new listeners we've had recently.
We love you all. So thank you.
We love you all each individually, and we are all your friends.
And as a collective. So thank you for listening to Unscripted Gaming. My name is Josh.
My name is Ray.
My name is Mike.
Peace.